criterion for a choice is whether or not the reading and discussion of it will be helpful for the general struggle against fascism and war. And that brings me on to this question of Left Book Club policy. The Left Book Club has no policy, or rather it has no policy other than that of equipping people to fight against war and fascism. As I have said elsewhere, it would not even be true to say that the People's Front is the policy of the Left Book Club, though all three selectors are enthusiastically in favour of it. What we rather feel is that by giving a wide distribution to books which represent many shades of left opinion, and perhaps most of all by providing facilities for the discussion of those books in the 300 local centres and circles that have sprung up all over the country, we are creating the mass basis without which a genuine People's Front is impossible. In other words, the People's Front is not the policy of the Left Book Club, but the very existence of the Left Book Club tends towards a People's Front. But we feel that a foreword to the road to Wigan Pier is desirable, not merely in view of the misconception to which I have referred, but also because we believe that the value of the book, for some members, can be greatly increased if just a hint is given of certain vital considerations that arise from a reading of it. The value can be increased. As to the positive value itself, no one of us has the smallest doubt. For myself, it is a long time since I have read so living a book, or one so full of a burning indignation against poverty and oppression. The plan of the book is this. In Part 1, Mr. Orwell gives a first-hand account of the life of the working-class population of Wigan and elsewhere. It is a terrible record of evil conditions, foul housing, wretched pay, hopeless unemployment, and the villainies of the means test. It is also a tribute to courage and patience far too great. We cannot imagine anything more likely to rouse the unconverted from their apathy than a reading of this part of the book. And we are announcing in the current number of the Left News a scheme by means of which we hope members may make use of the book for this end. These chapters really are the kind of thing that makes converts. In the second part, Mr. Orwell starts with an autobiographical study, which he thinks necessary in order to explain the class feelings and prejudices of a member of the lower upper middle class, as he describes himself. And then he goes on to declare his adherence to socialism. But before doing so, he comes forward as a devil's advocate and explains, with a great deal of sympathy, why, in his opinion, so many of the best people detest socialism. And he finds the reason to lie in the personal inferiority of so many socialists and in their mistaken methods of propaganda. His conclusion is that present methods should be thrown overboard, and that we should try to enroll everyone in the fight for socialism and against fascism and war, which he rightly sees to be disasters in the face of which little else is of much importance, by making the elemental appeal of liberty and justice. What he envisages is a great league of oppressed against oppressors. In this battle, members of all classes may fight side by side, the private schoolmaster and the jobless Cambridge graduate with the clerk and the unemployed miner. And then when they have so fought, we of the sinking middle class may sink without further struggles into the working class where we belong, and probably when we get there it will not be so dreadful as we feared, for, after all, we have nothing to lose but our H's. Now, the whole of this second part is highly provocative, not merely in its general argument, but also in detail after detail. I had, in point of fact, marked well over 100 minor passages about which I thought I should like to argue with Mr. Orwell in this foreword. But I find now that if I did so, the space that I have set aside would be quickly used up, and I should wear out my reader's patience. It is necessary, therefore, that I should limit myself to some of the broader aspects. In the first place, no reader must forget that Mr. Orwell is throughout writing precisely as a member of the lower upper middle class, or, let us say without qualification, as a member of the middle class. It may seem stupid to insist on this point, as nothing could be clearer than Mr. Orwell's own insistence on it. But I can well imagine a reader coming across a remark